Ladies and gentlemen, my name is RuffledRowlit, and welcome back to a brand new video, guys. Today, we're going to be covering a subject that I think would be worthwhile, because I was going to cover this a long time ago, and I haven't seen many people go in depth on this one, but I wanted to cover it because thanks to the lovely support of you guys, we have a actual proper breakdown of this. So I wasn't, again, like I said, I wasn't going to cover this in a long time. I was going to wait for a decent chunk of time before I was going to cover this, but I decided, you know what, it's time, and I'm going to be showcasing two different things, guys. First of all, an email here by Steve Richter that was sent to me. So Steve, thank you so much for sending this to me, man. And also something that Aurelien on Twitter also discovered and kind of researched through. I'm going to talk about the Aurelien part first, because that was the one I was going to originally cover, because it talks about runes and stuff, and I was going to look further into it. But then your boy Steve came through and actually did even more translations of the runes in the trailers, and also the footage we've seen of Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield, and what those can tell us about the future of the games, and what the games could have to do in terms of what's coming, and also could also potentially give us information about upcoming, or rather leaks and stuff we've seen, or rumors we've seen, to put it more bluntly. Can give us a bit of information about those as well, if they're real or fake, or, if they hold any merit or value, so to say. It's a good way for us to kind of look deeper into all of that and break it all down. So, first of all, a big thank you to everybody, who's been sending in stuff. A big thank you to you all. I freaking love you guys. Thank you. And let's just get into the actual information right here. We'll start with the stuff that was sent to me by Aurelien here on Twitter. So here it is, guys. So Aurelien basically said here, look, and what he did was he looked at the runes on the side here. You can see the runes. You got one there, one there. He did a comparison here, trying how it matches up well with the heads of Latios, and whatnot. And then he went down further here, and, enigmatic philosopher here actually responded saying, most likely a bind rune, but I scoured the internet for a solid 90 minutes looking at runes and glyphs and found nothing. My eyes hurt. And then Aurelien here continues saying that I found the top rune, but for the bottom one and nothing at all. And then they continue down here saying, I think I found it, but it's weird. And here's what he actually ended up finding. He thought that this could be what the runes are showing here. Could be the one in the middle, or a mixture, of all of them combined into one. So it's a little bit strange, a little bit confusing as to what this is all about. But again, thank you to Aurelien for kind of sparking my kind of interest in this, because that gives me reason to jump into this right here. So again, this was sent to me by Steve. So thank you so much to Steve for breaking this down. And basically, here is hints referring to a Sword and Shield rumor that we talked about earlier today. This is the Sword and Shield rumor that I already covered, but let's actually look into the information that Steve sent here. So again, big thank you to him. If you guys want to read the information yourself, it's going to be pretty hard, sorry, because it's kind of kind of positioning is going to be a little bit hard here, which I do apologize about. But let's actually get started with the information. So, hey Ruffled, sorry for my bad English. Don't worry about it, dude. Do not worry about it, man. Second, I want to share some thoughts with you that you may be finding interesting to cover regarding Sword and Shield. And he quotation marks here saying, it all comes together, which you guys may remember that was the tagline for Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield in the original, Sun and Moon. Oh, sorry, for Pokemon Sun and Moon, not Sword and Shield, but that was the tagline for Sun and Moon when those games were released. And we haven't really seen that tagline really show up since then. But if we continue down here to through the actual information here, you may notice that, I get some more information right here. For example, so the trailer was revealed. It was I was curious about the runes that were shown, and you guys may remember these runes. And here's you got a few of them. You got the X over there. You got the kind of weird zigzaggy one we just looked at, which shows up in this spot right here as well on this side, as well as this kind of square one. Now, as he says here right here, is that he's been able to figure a few of them out, and he sends another image here saying, my research told me what the cross, the G, and the square are referred to. So G and NG. If you open them right here, you'll see that the X is a G and the square is NG. So that's what those were for, or the cross, I guess, if you want to refer to it as that. And if it continues here, saying G equals gift / element sky / gods Freya, or and Odin Vudan, or Freya, which is different ways of saying them, but Odin and Freya, guys. So he continues on here saying that an NG is the element Earth / Earth God, but the third symbol is not shown in any, nor the any sort of runic alphabet, not the Celtic and the Viking one. The same way that you got the mention here from Aurelien here as well. There is no way to figure out what the middle one really here is. But the third symbol, like it mentions here, doesn't show up. But after your video about the 8-legged horse, something triggered, and I did another research. And the solution was Gungnir, Odin's spear, or as it's called as well, Odin's sword. Here's the interesting thing, right? If we open this one up, I think we'll see it right here. Gungnir, also known as Garspear of Odin, or Sword of Odin, the Norse rune letter Gar, which represents the legendary weapon of Odin. Gungnir was a dwarven magical weapon given to Odin by Lopter, which never misses and always returns to his hand. So, I mean, it kind of like reminds me of like Thor's hammer, because it kind of seems to have the same like, you know, thing going on here, and it's also, again, also another thing made by the dwarfs. So pretty interesting. But again, this is it, guys. It looks, I mean, it looks very similar. There is also a little bit of difference here if you do comparison. This one's kind of cut off at the bottom, like it doesn't fully show up. It's a little bit cut off, but that's got to be it though. That's got to be the same thing, right? They do look pretty much identical. And we continue down here saying, you know, reading through further up, and you guys, you see that he says here. So you kind of, so you can kind of imply that all these symbols combined could form some kind of sentence like the gift of the earth god will be Odin's sword. And that's what you can kind of get, I guess, out of this one, or all these combined together. Then again, these came in different orders, and, you know, these ones are on this rock, and these two are in different positions, so I'm not sure if they really form a full-on sentence. But then we continue on down here saying that there's more to the theory. There is a book about Odin with the following cover, and you can check out the cover right here. And this book has Odin, and he's riding on his 8-legged horse. And you guys may remember that we had a rumor that came out saying there's going to be an 8-legged horse legendary, and that would make sense with, you know, specifically Odin's horse that he rode on, which we talked about earlier today when I talked about a different rumor, which I don't know if a lot of people even saw that one, because YouTubers have been a little bit sketchy today, but I talked about that earlier today, so if you guys haven't seen it, do check it out, because it breaks down a lot of really interesting information. Now, we continue further on here, and we see that, which includes 8-legged horse. Again, true. Odin's spear/sword, Odin's shield, in my opinion, the shield of El Cid, would fit better to the goldy dragon head, but never mind. And he links here as well, so you can take a look at that. You know, the golden head up there, and you got the dragon head down there as well. A little bit hard to, you know, choose which one. A bolt and swirls on the horse's side. For me, it looks very similar to the hill giant. And you can see right here, you got the hill giant, which, again, the hill giant's really strange to me, because I'm feeling like this is metal in one strange way or another. I'm feeling like this is still metal. I mean, just a kind of maybe even an evolution of metal. I've got a video separately coming about that subject, but that's what it kind of is feeling like to me. But it's kind of hard to, like, fully, like, you know, decide on what this could be. It's really hard, man. It's strange and it's confusing. It's a little bit of a disaster trying to figure all this out sometimes. But either way, though, so we continue down here, and for me, it looks like very similar to the hill giant. If you go further into the story of Odin, you come close to the mentions of wolves, Geri and Freki. I actually got a separate video about these wolves, as well as some other wolves as well. Or Hati and Skoll, the devourers of the sun and the moon. Exactly. Those are the two ones I'm going to talk about separately in a different video, because I got a big video about that, and I think that if I include that information in this video, it's going to be over 20 minutes long, and I don't know if you guys want to see that. If you want to see long videos, like 20 minutes long, let me know in the comment section down below by doing hashtag 20. Hashtag 20 if you want to see videos that are 20 minutes long, you know, covering all this stuff kind of combined into a single video. We continue down here saying, you know, we got Geri and Freki are portraits most of the time, and portrayed most of the time as red and blue, which fits the rumor that the wolf is a two-headed wolf with fire and ice typing. Fair enough. And you can see right here, we open this up, and you got the two wolves being, you know, one red, one, you know, one blue, I guess, or white, one black, one white, with a little bit of red, a little bit of blue in each, you know, each one of them. So this one's fire, this one's ice, or, you know, fire and ice. Cool. So we continue down here further, and Hati and Skoll, on the other hand, could be linked to the fletchling weather sign. And here's what you see right here. Let's see, the illustration, two wolves from Norse mythology, Hati and Skoll devour the sun and the moon, isolated on white vector illustration. This is on 123 RF here, and you got these two bad boys, you know, just chilling around here. As we continue down further here, we also got this one, which you guys may remember. So we had the fletchling, and we had the sun and the moon, which would make sense if we got Hati and, you know, your other boy, I keep forgetting his name, but if you had those two wolves, right, and they're the devourers of the sun and the moon, it makes sense to hint at it throughout the trailer a little bit, here and there. Of course, having a lot of Norse mythology, and, like, you know, Nordic mythology, Viking mythology, that sort of stuff, even Celtic to some level, or to a large level, actually, you know, having a lot of those references, and then throughout the trailer kind of hinting it here and there, should give us a bit of a, you know, indication of what these actual legendaries could be like, or what's going on here. So we continue down the actual, you know, information here, and let's see, we were right about here. So in this 4chan post, it was said that Meltan may have to be collected, which fair enough. Well, there is a connection as well to that. If you combine the rune theory with the Meltan rumor, you'll find some interesting coincidences. Runes were all included in the Locario movie, and you got this one right here. which I know a few other people have covered as well. You got runes, I think, like, rune shapes on the actual, outfits here. But these are more like Japanese runes. I mean, the armor they're wearing is supposed to be more like, it's supposed to kind of like strike the image of samurai armor from, like, the old, like, feudal days of feudal Japan, the samurai armor they wore. This is kind of what this is slightly more referencing, I guess. But if you continue down here and read through this also, runes were also included in the recovered movie. The shown war in the movie was said to have happened 3,000 years ago, as the storyline implied. So Meltan's Pokédex entry seems to be linked to that scenario, and I think when it comes to Meltan's Pokédex entry, or Melmetal's Pokédex entry actually, revered long ago for its capacity to create iron from nothing, for some reason it has come back to life after 3,000 years. And yeah, this would definitely make sense, right? Because if 3,000 years ago, if it was able to make metal out of nothing, it probably was the Pokemon that made metal, some sort of, different metals that were then used to create weapons or armor in some form or shape. Later on. Now, I think the rumor we were reading, right? I think the rumor we were reading today, which is the rumor that connects to this, which is the whole rumor, the subject of this video, that rumor, I think, said that armored evolutions or armored forms or whatever will be a thing. I think it might have said that. I could be wrong, and I may actually check right now just to make 100% sure, so I don't, like, misconstrue that, but I think they may have said that armored evolutions may be a thing. So I'm quickly going to take a real quick look, find the actual, like, thingy here, and make sure that I got that right, so I didn't, like, mess it up or anything, because I'm pretty sure they also mentioned in the rumor that this rumor specifically brought up that armored evolutions would be back. So let's see. I think right about after being Melmetal, you'll get access to armored evolutions. Yes, so this one also suggested armored evolution specifically, which is interesting. But this is also the rumor that I think was a little bit strange, because the way, like, that it was kind of, like, portrayed, the individual who, like, shared the rumor was very aggressive in the way they kind of, like, shared it. So it's a little bit weird of an, situation, kind of iffy. But I'm not sure it's straight, really. And after my deeper research, I must say that the deleted rumor seems even more legit, and in my opinion, the first rumor I would call a leak. Because all is linked perfectly together, even more if you look at the look to that near Kalos region, which legendaries are based on Norse mythology as well, which would make sense to have both of the regions having Norse mythology-based, legendaries. So thank you for reading the text, hopefully, and maybe even covering this stuff. Hell yeah, man, I love this sort of stuff. This is the most fun kind of, like, topics to cover, are these sort of rumors that go, like, really, really in-depth and all this stuff. It's actually a lot of fun, like, really, really, really a lot of fun. So thank you to you, man. Thank you so much, Steve, for sending this my way, dude, and thank you so much for watching, guys, if you did enjoy. So I'd like to know what you guys think about this. In the comment section down below, guys, let me know, please. What are your thoughts on this? Because personally, it's a really kind of weird situation, right? Because I've seen people suggest it could be Chinese, mythology and Chinese dogs, right, that are connected to this. I personally made my theory about this being, based on Black Dog and, like, specifically UK mythology. But I do agree that the connection with, the Norse mythology is far more likely. And since they've done it in the past, it wouldn't surprise me. You got Geri and Freki, which make a lot of sense. You also got Hati and Skull, which are the ones who devour the sun and the moon. And it just feels a little bit strange. I'm not really sure which one's the right one. So, ladies and gentlemen, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section down below. What are your thoughts? What are your opinions? All that sort of stuff. And thank you so much for watching the video, guys. If you did enjoy, drop a like down below. Subscribe for future videos. Also, check out our shirt designs if you want to. It's up to you if you want to do that. Do whatever you want. But thank you so much for watching, though, guys. Have a great day. And bye-bye, ladies and gentlemen.